You know, it's funny. Every time you think the electric car market is starting to settle down, someone like Toyota comes along and shakes things up all over again. And honestly, I think this time, they might have just dropped one of their most interesting cards yet. So, let's talk about the brand new Toyota CHR Plus. If you haven't heard about it yet, buckle up. Because this isn't just another electric SUV, it's Toyota's big swing at making EVs way more appealing to folks who want style, space, and most importantly, range. All right, picture this. You're scrolling through your feed, maybe sipping your morning coffee, and you see the headline Toyota's launching a new electric SUV with a 600-kilometer range. That's about 373 miles, by the way, which is a pretty big deal. I mean, that's enough to drive from, say, New York City to Pittsburgh on a single charge, with a little juice left over for detours or, a stop at that weird roadside diner you always pass but never try. Now, before we dive into all the cool stuff about the CHR Plus, quick pause. If you're into cars, tech, or just like hearing about what's next in the world of EVs, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It helps out a ton, and you'll always be in the loop when something new drops. All right, back to Toyota's latest move. So, the CHR Plus is Toyota's new electric SUV, and yeah, the name might sound familiar. There's already a CHR out there, but that one's a hybrid. And honestly, this new model is a whole different animal. Toyota is not just slapping a battery into the old design, they've rebuilt this thing from the ground up to be electric. And it shows. Let's start with the look because, let's be real, nobody wants to drive something that feels like a science project on wheels. The CHR Plus has this sleek, almost coupe-like vibe. It's got those sharp lines, a bold front end that Toyota calls the hammerhead, and a taillight that stretches all the way across the back, which just looks cool at night. Compared to the hybrid version, this one's bigger in every direction, longer, wider, taller, and with a longer wheelbase. That means more room inside, more space for your stuff, and just a more grown-up, confident look overall. And speaking of space, the cargo area is legit. You get 416 liters of trunk space, which is more than the hybrid version and definitely enough for a big grocery run or a weekend getaway. You know how some electric cars make you sacrifice practicality for style? Not here. Toyota's clearly aiming for people who want it all: looks, space, and a ton of range. Now let's talk about that range because this is where things get really interesting. The CHR Plus is built on Toyota's eTNGA platform. Don't worry about the alphabet soup, just know it's the same foundation as their BZ4X, which is already out there turning heads. But the CHR Plus takes things up a notch with two battery options. The smaller one gets you about 283 miles, which is solid, but the real headline is the bigger 77 kilowatt-hour battery. With that, you're looking at up to 373 miles on a single charge. That's not just competitive, it's right up there with the best in the business. And Toyota didn't just stop at range. They're offering both front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive versions. The all-wheel drive model, get this, cranks out 343 horsepower. That's more power than a lot of sports sedans, and it'll do 0 to 60 in just over 5 seconds. For an SUV, that's quick. Like, merge onto the highway with a grin on your face, quick. But maybe you're not looking to race Teslas at red lights. Maybe you just want something comfortable, efficient, and easy to live with. Toyota's got you covered there, too. The CHR Plus comes with a heat pump to keep things cozy in the winter, without draining your battery, and they've put a lot of work into making the car as aerodynamic as possible. Less wind resistance means more miles per charge, and every little bit helps when you're trying to squeeze out that extra range. Inside, it's all about making life easier. There's a big 14-inch touchscreen front and center. No more squinting at tiny displays. You get wireless charging pads for your phone. Yes, plural, so your passenger can charge up too. A panoramic sunroof for those sunny days, and heated seats and steering wheel for when winter hits. Even the rear passengers get USB ports, so nobody's fighting over who gets to charge their phone. It is those little touches that make a car feel like it was actually designed for real people, not just for the showroom. Toyota's also loaded up the CHR Plus with safety features. You get their full suite of driver assistance tech, things like adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, and automatic emergency braking. Higher trim levels even add stuff like a panoramic view monitor and park assist, which basically means the car can help you squeeze into those tight parking spots downtown without breaking a sweat. Now, let's talk about charging, because if you've ever driven an EV, you know that's where the rubber really meets the road. The CHR Plus comes standard with an 11 kWh onboard charger, which is solid for home charging. If you spring for a higher trim, you get a 22 kWh charger, which means faster top-ups if you've got the right setup at home or at work. And when you're out and about, it can handle up to 150 kWh on a DC fast charger. Translation: you can go from almost empty to about 80% in the time it takes to grab a coffee and a snack. Plus, there's a battery preconditioning feature, so you don't have to worry about cold weather slowing things down. The car gets the battery ready to charge fast, no matter the temperature. So who's this car for? Honestly, it feels like Toyota S aiming right at people who want to go electric but haven't found the right fit yet. Maybe you've looked at a Tesla but want something a little more down-to-earth, or maybe you re-driving a RAV4 or a CR-V, and you ready to make the jump to electric without giving up the stuff you love like space comfort and the ability to road trip without planning your whole life around charging stops. And here's something interesting. While Toyota's rolling this out in Europe first makes sense, since EVs are huge over there, there's a lot of buzz about it coming to the US soon after. Nothing's official yet, but the smart money says we'll see it stateside, maybe as soon as 2026. When it does land, it'll be competing with the likes of the Hyundai Kona Electric, the Kia EV3, and even some of the smaller Teslas. But with Toyota's reputation for reliability and the kind of range they're promising, the CHR Plus could end up being a real game changer. Oh, and pricing. In the UK, they're aiming to keep it under $40,000, which, after you do the math at AS, also worth mentioning that Toyota AS not just throwing this out there and hoping for the best. They're launching the CHR Plus as part of a bigger push into electric SUVs. Alongside this, they've got the Urban Cruiser and the updated BZ4X, so they're covering everything from compact to mid-size to full-on family hauler. It's clear they're serious about giving people real choices, no matter what size or style you're after. And if you're wondering about the name, yeah, Toyota originally thought about calling it the BZ3X, but they ditched that idea. Apparently, they realized that all those letters and numbers were just confusing people, so they kept it simple with CHR Plus. Sometimes less is more, right? So to sum it all up, Toyota AS CHR Plus is shaping up to be a pretty exciting option for anyone thinking about making the switch to electric. It's got the range to handle real road trips, the power to make driving fun, and the kind of practicality that makes it easy to live with day to day. Plus, it looks sharp and comes loaded with tech and safety features. If you're like me and you've been waiting for an electric SUV that doesn't ask you to compromise on style, space, or just the ability to live your life without constantly worrying about finding a charger, this could be the one to watch. And hey, if you want to keep up with all the latest on the CHR Plus and everything else happening in the world of electric cars, don't forget to subscribe. I'll be following this launch closely, and as soon as we get more details, like US pricing, test drives, or what it us actually like to live with one day-to-day you, I'll be the first to know. Thanks for hanging out and chatting about the future of driving. Whether you're a die-hard car enthusiast or just EV curious, it's a wild time to be paying attention. Toyota's making some big moves, and I can't wait to see where this goes next. Let me know what you think. Would you consider a Toyota CHR Plus for your next car? Or are you holding out for something else? Either way, it's clear the electric revolution is just getting started, and I'm here for it. Catch you next time.